The New York Jets pick in the 2020 NFL Draft. The Jets select Denzel Mims.
Yes! Mims! Yes! Oh! Oh!
J-E-T-S! Jets! Jets! Jets!
Welcome to Jets Talk. My name's Ryan. I'll be your pilot today. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button. If you've been here before, welcome back. I love having you here. Guys, I'll break down all these individual players in separate videos a little bit after the draft once I have a little more time to break them down. It's been a lot of fun hanging out with you guys during the first and second rounds of the draft. We're going to be back at it again live tomorrow starting at 12 o'clock for rounds 4 through 7 so we could start to digest some of these picks and who we want and whatnot. But let's start to recap a little bit of the second round. And my feelings were going into this that the second round pick had to be a wide receiver. It was really like kind of my gut pick. I had a few guys in mind. Mims was my top option. Pittman was my second option. And then Trayvon Diggs as a cornerback would have been my third option there. The Jets sitting at 48, I see Diggs, I see Mims on the board. After receivers came off real early, we saw back-to-back picks of, it was Higgins and, was it Shenault or Higgins and Pittman? Higgins and Pittman, and then Shenault comes off the board. So, as a Jet fan, I am sweating right now. I'm like, oh God, okay. At least we got Mims there, we got Diggs there. We can make the right pick. One of these players is going to be selected. And then we trade down. And I'm like, oh no, Mims was the last receiver that I really wanted for this second round. So I'm sitting there. We're going all the way back to, 59, I think, is where we wound up picking him. And as each pick grows closer, Trayvon Diggs goes, and I'm just like, oh no, Claypool goes the pick after, 49 after the Jets traded down. So I'm like, oh geez, now there's no one left that I really like. And I just want Mims. We're inching closer. We finally get to that pick, and it is so nice to finally know that we got a stud number one receiver. And Mims is someone that I thought his floor was going to be Green Bay at the end of the first round. So I had him as a mid to late first round pick. Jets wind up getting him in the late second. So the fact that Joe Douglas was able to trade down, pick up an additional pick, and still get the guy that I really wanted, I'm stoked. This guy has 4.3 speed. 6'3", he can jump out of the building. He will beat you. His catch radius is absolutely enormous. He's got 34-inch arms or something like that. The guy is absolutely huge and is going to help Sam Darnold in the red zone. Now, as far as those next picks go, so now I shouldn't even say we got one pick back from the Mims pick because we wound up trading the pick that we got back in the trade down and got 2 additional fourths and an additional 6. So we really got 3 picks plus Mims for that 48th overall pick. So good job, Joe Douglas. I was a little scared and I wanted to give you a little bit of hell to start, but I'm very pleased with how this turned out. So we get into the third round and Jets are picking 4th in this round. I'm seeing Julian Okwara there. He's my top edge rusher on the board. I really wanted him. I was super stoked to see him still possibly there at the beginning of the third round. He goes 1 pick ahead of the Jets. So in turn, the Jets wind up making a selection and they take Ashton Davis, the safety from Cal. And this is someone that I didn't see this coming because I didn't really think safety was too big of a need, but it does make sense giving a little bit more thought to it. This guy is a legitimate free safety. He can play all over the field. He's played corner, he's played slot, he'd play edge defender, he's played free safety. So this is someone who's a very versatile piece and someone that I think is going to give the Jets a little bit of versatility. Greg Williams is going to want to play 3 safeties at times where Jamal Adams is close to the line of scrimmage. Maybe you have May a little bit further back, and then you have this guy way far back. Played well. He picked off Justin Herbert while he was playing slot this past year. So the guy can intercept the ball from a variety of different angles all over the field. This pick to me really screams out a little bit of forefront thinking for Joe Douglas. I've brought up the whole Jamal Adams thing, and you could say because of the whole, I guess, multitude of positions that Davis can play, you could say if the Jets trade Jamal Adams away, they have someone there. I don't think that's necessarily the case. I still think they're different players, but I do think this is very much a replacement for Marcus May. Marcus May is going into the last year of his deal, and if I had to guess, May and Adams, one of them is going to get re-signed, the other one's going to get traded. I don't think we're just going to allow May to walk at the end of the year. I think we're going to kind of wait and see, unless they think Jamal Adams might get traded. If they think Jamal Adams might get traded, they may decide to hold on to May all year. But I think at the trade deadline, May is going to be a valuable trade chip for the Jets, and Ashton Davis could be the guy that fills in at free safety there. And I think he complements Adams really well. I think we're going to be very pleased with this selection. Overall, I think he can give us some value in the kick returning position or punt returning position, as well as just playing all over the field. Brian Poole's only on a 1-year deal as well. So you got to remember, this cornerback sort of team that we have on our roster it could look very different next year. So adding this player here, I'm okay with that. Not really where I would have gone, but I'm okay with it. With the Jets' second third-round pick of the day, we wound up taking Jabari Zuniga, the edge defender from the Florida Gators. Now, I got to be very careful with how I word this because I was very high on Jachai Polite and a former, this guy could have been a first-round pick, but there was personality issues in the draft and everything that caused him to fall. And I was really high on Jachai Polite last year. And then it flopped really hard, and he wound up never playing it down in the NFL. So I'm not going to hype up Jabari Zuniga quite as much. I do really like him, though. I will say this. I think the Jets could get their solution at edge rusher. At the very least, we're going to have someone that could replace Jordan Jenkins, who's on a one-year deal after the season. I think, based on what I'm looking at, the guy has monstrous strength. He was injured last year. I think he played in like 5 games and really only played healthy for 2 of them, according to like what I've sort of seen out on the internet. So this guy could have been a first-round pick if he was not injured this past year. I think if you had drafted him, say, last year, he would have been a first-round pick. So I'm very much on board with this position. So the Jets now, when we kind of look at everything overall, we have left tackle taken care of. We have wide receiver taken care of. Cornerback or safety. And edge rusher. So those were 4 positions of need that I really had the Jets wanting to go after. The Jets traded back again, that third-round pick that we got in the Denzel Mims trade. We wound up trading that to the Patriots, which I was a little bit surprised of. I mean, we did make a trade with Demaryius Thomas and the Patriots earlier this season, but you normally don't see trades within the division. So I was a little surprised by that. But the Jets trade that third round pick, and they get 2 fourths and a sixth. So now, moving into day 3 of the NFL draft, we have 3 fourth-round picks, a 5th-round pick, and 3 6th-round picks. So Joe Douglas is getting a bunch of darts to throw at this, dartboard and fill out this roster. We have depth issues. We saw a ton of injuries this past year. You got to fill bodies out on this roster. So I think it's very much as much as we want quality over quantity, there's very much a thought process of, hey, let's get a bunch of guys in here, have them all compete, have the depth, and really round out this roster. Now, looking forward to the next rounds of the draft, guys that I'm kind of keeping my eye on, I do like Curtis Weaver, the edge rusher from Boise State. I think he's really fast. I did look into him a little bit. If we can snag him in the first pick in the 4th round, and then with those other picks, I'd like us to look at Biadasz or Gandy Golden, Donovan Peoples-Jones. These are guys, receiver, cornerback. Bryce Hall is a cornerback I'd like to see us get. Really, in these next few picks, I want to see edge rusher, receiver, cornerback, running back. I want us to double dip at wide receiver, cornerback, and edge. Take 2 swings at it, maybe you hit one out of the park. That's what I'd like to see. Running back, obviously to replace Le'Veon Bell. I think Bell's probably done after this season with the Jets, so you're going to look for at least a backup for this year, maybe a long-term player at that position. I don't really know. I don't have a name in mind for running back. This wasn't a huge running back draft for me. It's not something that I really kind of keyed in on, but I would be happy with a running back at some point during this draft. Guys, let me know what you think of everything, all the picks down below in the comments. Are you going to tune in tomorrow for our live stream? And don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you like the content. If you love this stuff, share it with a friend. Help the channel grow. I love you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. And I'll see you guys in the comments. Go Jets.